Good morning, children. Last class I have stopped with functions of thyroid hormone, and today we'll continue from thyroid dysfunction. You know very well what is meant by thyroid dysfunction. Either the secretion is less or more, and it leads to some disorders in the body of a human being and other animal, and this is called thyroid dysfunction. When the thyroid gland fails to secrete the normal level of hormones, the condition is called thyroid dysfunction. It leads to the following conditions. Hypothyroidism. Hypo means what? Less secretion or decreased secretion of thyroid gland. It is caused due to the decreased secretion of thyroid hormones. The abnormal conditions are simple goiter, cretinism, and myxedema. Goiter, it is caused due to the inadequate supply of iodine in our diet. This is commonly prevalent in Himalayan regions due to low level of iodine content in the soil. It leads to the enlargement of thyroid gland, which protrudes as a marked swellings in the neck and is called as what? Goiter, that you can see in the picture. Actually, thyroid secrete a hormone thyroxine. The thyroxine is an iodinated hormone. 65% of hormone is made up of iodine. So when our diet is consists of less iodine, and it leads to goiter. Actually, this goiter is common in the Himalayan regions. Why? Because the Himalayan region soil consists of very low level of iodine in it. That's why the people in the Himalayan regions have a simple goiter commonly. It leads to the enlargement of thyroid gland, which protrudes as a marked swellings in the neck and is called as goiter. Next one is cretinism. It is caused due to decreased secretion of the thyroid hormone in children. The conditions are stunted growth, mental children. The conditions are stunted growth, mental defect, lack of skeletal development, and deformed bones. They are called as cretins. Actually, thyroxine is essential for the growth of organisms and also formation of bones. When the secretion of the thyroxine is less in children, it leads to the disease called cretinism, because since the secretion is less and the growth becomes stunted, and it leads to mental defect. Metabolism also become reduced, so it leads to mental defects, and bone formation also reduced, so lack of skeletal development and deformed bones. They are called as cretins. Next one is myxedema. It is caused by deficiency of thyroid hormones in adult. They are mentally sluggish, increase in body weight, buffiness of the face and hand, and oedematous appearances. So these are the symptoms of myxedema. So myxedema, it is caused by the deficiency of, that means decreased secretion of thyroxine hormone. They are mentally sluggish, increase in body weight, buffiness of the face and hand, oedematous appearances. And next one is hyperthyroidism. This is what? Excess secretion of thyroid hormone. Excess secretion of thyroxine hormone leads to hyperthyroidism. It is caused due to excess secretion of thyroid hormone, which leads to Graves' disease. The symptoms are protrusion of the eyeballs, that is called exophthalmic condition, increased metabolic rate, high body temperature, profuse sweating, loss of body weight and nervousness. These are the various symptoms of hyperthyroidism. Hyper means excess secretion of thyroxine hormone. And next we are going to see about the parathyroid gland, which are the gland located on the thyroid gland surface. The parathyroid glands are four small oval bodies that are situated on the posterior surface of the thyroid lobe. The chief cell of the gland are mainly concerned with the secretion of parathyroid. The parathyroid gland located on the posterior surface of the thyroid gland, and it consists of a special cell called chief cell. This chief cell secretes a hormone called parathyroid. So parathyroid is a hormone secreted by parathyroid gland, and the functions of parathyroids are: the parathyroid regulates calcium and phosphorus metabolism in the body. They act on bone, kidney and intestine to maintain blood calcium level. So the parathyroid regulate calcium and phosphorus metabolism. Please note it, children. So it is essential for the formation of bone. So parathyroid regulates calcium and phosphorus metabolism in the body. They act on bone, kidney and intestine to maintain blood calcium level. Parathyroid dysfunction. So this secretion of parathyroid hormone can be altered due to following conditions: removal of parathyroid gland during thyroidectomy. Removal of thyroid causes decreased secretion of parathyroid. The conditions are muscle spasms known as tetany, sustained contraction of muscles in face, larynx, hands and feet, painful cramps of the limb and muscles. Okay, parathyroid dysfunction. Secretion of parathyroid hormone can be altered due to the following conditions: removal of parathyroid gland during thyroidectomy. See, during simple coitus, we have this thyroid gland becomes swollen and enlarged in its size. In that case, we are doing thyroidectomy. That means we have to cut some part of thyroid gland. During that time, there is a chance to remove the parathyroid along with the thyroid gland. So in that cases, the secretion of parathyroid is decreased. So under the sequence of this or muscle spasms known as tetany, sustained contraction. We cannot contract the muscles in face, larynx, hands and feet, and painful cramps of the lymph muscles. Okay, and next one is pancreas islets of Langerhans. Pancreas is an elongated yellowish gland situated in the loop of stomach and duodenum. It is exocrine and endocrine in nature. The exocrine pancreas secrete pancreatic juice which plays a role in digestion, while the endocrine portion is made up of islets of Langerhans. Actually, pancreas, which is commonly called as dual gland. Why? Because pancreas consists of both exocrine gland and endocrine gland. Pancreas consists of some group of cells on its surface called islets of Langerhans. This islets of Langerhans secretes a hormone. Actually, it consists of two cells, alpha cell and beta cells. The alpha cell secrete glucagon and beta cell secrete insulin. And also it can some other parts of the pancreas secrete the enzymes, hence it take part in the exocrine function also. The exocrine pancreas secrete pancreatic juice which plays a role in digestion, while the endocrine portion is made up of islets of Langerhans. The structure of pancreas, please see to it, children. Human insulin was first discovered by Frederick Banting, Charles Best and MacLeod in 1921. Insulin was first used in treatment of diabetes on 11th January 1922. It's from onwards. The islets of Langerhans consist of two types of cells, namely alpha cell and beta cells. The alpha cell secrete glucagons and beta cell secrete insulin. Next, the functions of pancreatic hormone. Actually, pancreas secrete two hormones. One is insulin, another one is glucagon. Actually, insulin and glucagon both are coordinatingly maintain the blood glucose level. The normal blood glucose level in human is actually 80 to 120 milligram per 100 ml of blood. This has to be maintained by these two hormones. Actually, the food we consumed are mostly glucose only or carbohydrate only. Carbohydrate after digestion converted into glucose. Carbohydrate after digestion converted into glucose. The glucose enter into the bloodstream and enhance the level of glucose in the blood. But the much level of glucose in the blood is not good for our health. So it should be converted into some other form. This has to be done by a hormone, insulin. Insulin is a hormone which convert the excess glucose in the blood into glycogen and stored in the muscles and liver. And when the blood does not have enough glucose in its body, the glucagon hormone convert the excess glycogen into glucose and reintroduce into the blood. In that way, both the hormones maintain the blood glucose level in a constant way, right? Okay. Functions of pancreatic hormone. A pancreas balance between insulin and glucagon production is necessary to maintain blood glucose concentration. Insulin helps in the conversion of glucose into glycogen, which is stored in liver and skeletal muscle. It promotes the transport of glucose into the cell. It decreases the concentration of glucose in blood. So the function of insulin is help in the conversion of glucose into glycogen. As I said, when the blood is rich of glucose, insulin hormone convert the excess glucose into glycogen, and the glycogen are stored in the liver and skeletal muscle, and it promote the transport of glucose into the cell. Next one is promote the transport of glucose into the cell, and it decreases the concentration of glucose in the blood. That's it. Next, glucagon. Glucagon helps in the breakdown of glycogen to glucose in the liver. It increases the blood glucose level. These are the functions of glucagon hormones. Diabetes mellitus. Like other hormones, when the secretion of insulin or glucagon are less in blood, it leads to some consequence called diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is a disease caused due to less secretion of insulin. Already I said insulin is a hormone which convert the excess glucose into glycogen and stored in the liver and muscle, I said, isn't it? But when the secretion of insulin is less or become decreased, what happened? The conversion of glucose into glycogen also reduced. The conversion of glucose into glycogen also reduced. So automatically the sugar level in the blood is increased, and the excess glucose or enter into the kidney through the bloodstream. Kidney cannot absorb all the excess glucose in the filtrate, and it eliminate through the urine, and this condition is called what? Diabetes mellitus. The deficiency of insulin causes diabetes mellitus. The deficiency of insulin causes diabetes mellitus. It is characterized by increase in blood sugar level, example hyperglycemia, excretion of excess glucose in the urine, it is called glycosuria, and frequent urination, that is polyuria. Increased thirst, it is called polydipsia. Increase in appetite called polyphagia. This is what about symptoms of diabetes mellitus. It is 4 mark question, bracketed. What is diabetes mellitus? Mention its symptoms. Will be a 4 mark question, children. Please bracket it. Next one is adrenal gland. The adrenal glands are located above each kidney. They are called suprarenal glands. The outer part is the adrenal cortex and the inner part is the adrenal medulla. The two distinct parts are structurally and functionally different. Okay. Actually, renal means kidney. Adrenal means what? The endocrine gland which is attached on the surface, on the posterior surface of the kidney is called adrenal gland, and it is otherwise called as suprarenal gland. Since it is placed above the kidney, it is called suprarenal glands. Then it also consists of two parts. The outer part is called the adrenal cortex, and the inner part of the adrenal gland is called the adrenal medulla. The two distinct parts are structurally and functionally different. See children, you can see the two different structure of adrenal gland in this structure. See, cortex it's a pale color region. This is called adrenal cortex, and medulla, which is dark in color. This is called what? Adrenal medulla. Inside the adrenal medulla, blood vessels also present. Okay. Adrenal cortex. The adrenal cortex consists of 3 layers of cells. They are zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. Hormones of adrenal cortex. The hormones secreted by the adrenal cortex are corticosteroids. They are classified into glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. Actually, glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids together called as corticosteroids, because these hormones are steroidal hormone, and actually hormones are either protein in nature or steroidal in nature. The hormones of adrenal cortex are steroid hormones, so these are called corticosteroids. Okay. And so adrenal cortex consists of 3 regions. Already we have seen in the first paragraph: zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. And hormones secreted by adrenal cortex are corticosteroids, and they are classified into glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. Let's see about the functions of adrenocortical hormones. Glucocorticoids. The glucocorticoids secreted by zona fasciculata are cortisols and corticosterone. The glucocorticoids secreted by zona fasciculata or cortisol or corticosterone. So glucocorticoid is a hormone secreted by the zona fasciculata of adrenal cortex, and the hormone is called either cortisol or corticosterone. And the function of this corticosterone hormone is regulate cell metabolism, and it stimulates the formation of glucose from glycogen in the liver, and it is an anti-inflammatory and anti-allergic agent. So the functions of glucocorticoids are regulate cell metabolism 1, and it stimulates the formation of glucose from glycogen in the liver. So already I said glucagon convert glycogen into glucose and reintroduced into the blood. So that process has stimulated by the hormone corticosterone. The conversion of glycogen into glucose is stimulated by the hormone corticosterone, and it is an anti-inflammatory and anti-allergenic agent. Okay. Next one is mineralocorticoid hormones. The mineralocorticoid hormone secreted by zona glomerulosa, and the name of the hormone is aldosterone. Mineralocorticoid hormone is aldosterone. The aldosterone is secreted by zona glomerulosa of adrenal cortex, and its function: it helps to reabsorb sodium ions from renal tubules. It causes increased excretion of potassium ions. Okay. So reabsorption of sodium ions from the renal tubules. Actually, during excretion of urine, there are various process has taken places. So during the formation of urine, glomeruli of nephron filter the waste product from the blood and enter into the urinary tubules. Actually, per day the glomeruli filter 200 to 250 liters of glomerular filtrate. If all the total 200 to 250 liters of glomerular filtrate excreted in the urine, it will be difficult to balance the water level in body. So what happened when the glomerular filtrate pass through the urinary tubules of nephron? This urinary tubules reabsorb the excess water and excess ions, glucose, amino acids, all from the glomerular filtrate. In that way, the reabsorption of sodium from the renal tubules is stimulated by a hormone called aldosterone. It causes increased excretion of potassium ions. At the same time, it causes increased excretion of potassium ions through the urine. And it regulates electrolyte balance, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure, and blood pressure also. And in more to know, the cortisol hormone of adrenal cortex serves to maintain the body in living condition and recover it from the severe effects of stress reaction. Thus, an increased output of cortisol is life-saving in shock condition. It is also known as life-saving hormones. Okay, actually, cortisol hormone of adrenal cortex maintain the body in living condition and also recover it from the severe effects of stress reaction. During the severe effects of stress reaction, the body is recovered from it by the help of hormone cortisol. Thus, an increased output of cortisol is life-saving in shock conditions. It is also known as what? Life-saving hormone. Next, adrenal medulla. The adrenal medulla is composed of chromaffin cells. They are richly supplied with sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. About these two nerves I have spoke with you in the lesson nervous system itself. And hormones of adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla secrete two hormones. One is epinephrine, another one is norepinephrine. Epinephrine otherwise called as adrenaline and norepinephrine otherwise called as noradrenaline. They are together called as emergency hormone. It is produced during the conditions of stress and emotion. Hence, it is also referred as flight, fright and fight hormone. So, which hormone is called emergency hormones? Both epinephrine, adrenaline or noradrenaline are together called as emergency hormone. Why? Because it is produced during the conditions of stress and emotion. Hence, it is called also referred as flight, fright and fight hormone. Next one is functions of adrenal medullary hormones. Epinephrine, it promotes the conversion of glycogen to glucose in liver and muscle. It increases the rate of respiration by dilation of bronchi and trachea. It causes dilation of pupil in the eye. It decreases blood flow through the skin. Norepinephrine, most of its action are similar to those of the epinephrine only. Next, reproductive glands, thymus glands. Okay. Reproductive glands or testes and ovaries are called reproductive glands. The testes are present in the male while in the ovaries are present in the female, that you know very well. Testes are the reproductive glands of the males. They are composed of seminiferous tubules, Leydig cells and Sertoli cells. So, the actually testis is a reproductive glands of males and it composed of seminiferous tubules, Leydig cell and Sertoli cells. And Leydig cells form an endocrine part of the testis, and as an endocrine part, the Leydig cells secrete a hormone testosterone. Functions of testosterone: it influences the process of spermatogenesis. What is mean by spermatogenesis? The process of formation of sperm is called spermatogenesis, and it stimulates protein synthesis and control muscular growth. And it is responsible for the development of secondary sexual characters, that is distribution of hair on body and face, deep voice pattern, etc. Next, ovary. The ovaries are the female gonads located in the pelvic cavity of the abdomen. It secretes two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen is produced by the Graafian follicle of the ovary, and progesterone from the corpus luteum, that is formed in the ovary from the ruptured follicle during ovulation. About it I have spoke with you during the reproductive system lesson also. And functions of estrogen. Estrogen bring about the changes that occur during the puberty. So, during the time of puberty, there is a structural changes in our body. This is due to the hormone called estrogen. It initiates the process of oogenesis. What is mean by oogenesis? The process of formation of ovum is called oogenesis. It stimulates the maturation of ovarian follicle in the ovary. Actually, inside ovum actually present inside the ovarian follicle. Its maturation is stimulated by the hormone. It stimulates the maturation of ovarian follicle in the ovary. It promotes the development of secondary sexual characters such as breast development, high pitched voice, etc. Next, functions of progesterone. It is responsible for the premenstrual changes of the uterus, okay, and prepares the uterus for the implantation of the embryo. After fertilization, the zygote develop into embryo. The embryo gets implanted in the ovary. It is due to the hormone progesterone, and it maintains pregnancy, and it is essential for the formation of placenta. So these are the functions of progesterone. Next, the last one is thymus gland. Is a partly an endocrine gland and partly a lymphoid organ. It is located in the upper part of the chest, covering the lower end of trachea. Thymosin is the hormone secreted by thymus, and the functions of thymosin are, it has a stimulatory effect on the immune function. Mainly the function of thymus is related with the immune system. It stimulates the production and differentiation of lymphocytes. Actually, lymphocytes are very essential for the production of antibodies and prevention of infectious agent. For that, lymphocytes are very essential. This has to be stimulated by the hormone thymosin. Okay children, we have completed this lesson with this. That's all, the this chapter over. And homework for you, adrenal gland, both adrenal cortex, adrenal medulla full, and gonads full. Gonads means what? Both testes, ovary, and its structure, hormone secretion, functions of all hormones you will have as a homework. Okay children, okay, I'll get you in my next class with the next chapter. Okay, bye.